Jesus preaches his final public message to the public at large. And in that message, he has an incredible exclamation point. What is the final thing that Jesus said to the crowd before he died? You'll find out on today's episode.
Welcome to Everyday Truth with Kurt Skelly. We believe the Bible is true and relevant to everyone, everywhere, every day. If today's conversation is a help to you, take a moment to leave a review or share it with a friend. Thanks for listening. Now, let's join Kurt for today's episode.
Hey, my friends, welcome back to today's episode of Everyday Truth. We are nearing the end of Matthew 23, and we're about to go into a prophetic section in chapters 24 and 25. Looking forward to that. And then, soon thereafter, we'll be right into the final couple days of Jesus' life and ministry, and we'll say goodbye to this very special book where we've been learning that Jesus is King. So Matthew has been writing this book to a Jewish audience, and he has been very careful throughout the book to reference the Old Testament time and time again. It's been written. This is a fulfillment of. He's showing that Jesus is not just a new concept, Messiah, but he is coming, in fulfillment of what God has been predicting. It's always good to remember that Jesus is the theme of the Bible. When you think about the Bible in terms of redemptive narrative, you think about Jesus as the very embodiment of redemption. Jesus is God's plan. Jesus is God's rescue plan for the world, for you and for me. And how sad that those that should have known best, those to whom had been committed the oracles of God, this was Paul's point in Romans 3, yet with all of that extra revelation, with all of that, the experience that they had had with God, they missed him. Such was the nature of their pride that they missed the very Messiah whom Jesus sent to them. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. So here in Matthew, we're finding that Jesus has so wonderfully presented himself in miracles and in messages. He has so carefully delineated the principles of the kingdom in Matthew, especially in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew's chapters 5, 6, and 7. And yet all of that has brought him to the culminating point in Jerusalem where his very own people and the religion of Judaism is rejecting him. And we've talked for the last few days just about Jesus' rebuke of those that represented religion in Judaism, the Pharisees and the scribes, these that should have known best, knew the least. These that should have been the most excited about Jesus showing up were those that rejected him most damagingly. So here we are in verse number 36 at the end of chapter 23, and Jesus offers one final general big word of rebuke to the entire system, the entire place of Jerusalem. Look at verse number 36. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. So Jesus talked about the judgment that he had just pronounced upon these religious leaders and by extension, those that followed them. And here's the verse I want you to see, verse 37, where Jesus makes this lament. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Well, this might be among the saddest verses in all the Bible. Why? Because Jesus is expressing his heartfelt desire. He's giving us a little snippet again of his very purpose, that I came to help you. I came to love you. I came for you. Like a bird would spread its wings out, that the chickens would find protection and find hope and peace and help. That's the way I've come to you, of Jerusalem. How often I've repeatedly come to you. You think about all of the messages and the many times that Jesus has come back in mercy, and then to extend that throughout the whole Old Testament as Jesus talks about himself as the theme. You've killed all the prophets. I've come to you in every generation with a fresh word from God. Every generation has had its prophets, not just writing prophets, but speaking prophets. He could go back and talk about the Elijahs and the Elishas and the Amoses and the Malachis and the Zechariahs and the Habakkuk's and all of them. I've sent all the prophets, and to a man, you have treated them the same. You've rejected their message. You've rejected their theme, and now you are rejecting me. How often would I have gathered you? The heart of Jesus was not to come and to judge. I came out into the world to condemn the world. That's not why Jesus was sent, not to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. In Matthew, I can just sense his heart as a former publican who had been rejected by Judaism, and he had rejected Judaism by those choices, and yet he had found Jesus. And now on this side of truth, wanting his nation, wanting his people to come. And here's Jesus expressing all of that passion. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that slayest the prophets, you kill those that were sent to you. We go back to that parable that we've talked about so often, the parable of the householder that had let out his vineyard. And he sent his servants, and the people, the workers of the field, killed those servants until finally the householder, the vineyard owner, sent his own son, and they killed him too. That's what Jesus is talking about here. I want to point out another, I think, key thought that Jesus brings out in this verse, and that is, I've gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathered her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. What an important point that Jesus makes. It's not that ye could not. It's that ye would not. You rejected an offer legitimately made to you. Sometimes people, I think, unfairly say, well, God's grace is irresistible. If he wants to save you, he'll save you against your will, or he'll actually make you willing to. That's not what the scripture teaches. The scripture teaches that Jesus offered himself to his own people, and they made a choice to resist that offer, to resist that grace. Ye would not. You decided against this. You had a free and moral choice, and you are accountable for the choice that you made to reject the Messiah that came to save you. And that, I think that's an important point to be made, that there is human responsibility when we are presented the grace of God in the person of Jesus to make our choice to either accept or to reject. And what Jesus is saying here, lamentably, is you have chosen to reject me. Look at verse 38. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. Your house, the temple. Okay, so you've rejected me, but if you've rejected me, the Son of the Most High, if you've rejected me, the very essence of the temple, if you rejected me, then all you have are buildings, empty buildings without the presence of God, an empty religion without the salvation that God provides. You have all of what you can build and nothing of what I can do. Your house is desolate. Now, that's both a statement of truth in that moment and a statement of prophecy. Why? Because in 40 short years, just one generation, that very house, that very temple would no longer exist. Stone would not be left upon stone. It would be completely destroyed by the Romans in the Jewish revolt. And all of this was prophesied by Jesus, as we shall see in chapters 24 and 25 in the Olivet Discourse. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Look at verse 39. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth. No, I've given you the opportunity. An opportunity has a shelf life. Ye shall not see me henceforth till ye shall say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. No, I'm coming again. As a nation, you'll see me then, but you have had your chance now. This is the last public address of Jesus. This is his last public message. Now, he's going to speak to the disciples. He's going to give much teaching beyond this. John 13, 14, 15, 16. All of these, he gives little short snippets from the cross. But as far as a formal message to God's people, this is it. And he ends it with this great lamentation. You had your chance. You made your choice. How very sad. So we'll end there at the end of chapter number 23, jump into a brand new chapter next episode. Hope you'll join us for that. Until then, God bless you, my friends.